pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping. Altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
Waking up to the crypto market pumping, seeing Aero having massive gains, Morpho having massive gains, and also seeing only a few moments ago Bitcoin breaking above $97,000. We can see it even right now. It's holding above it as it stands. But let's zoom out for just a moment and realize this previous all-time high in that $69,000 range. All the work that took place back here after the FTX collapse here from, oh my God, $20,000. Can you guys remember that? The drop here. I was here. I've been here in this market for 10 years now. And we can see this drop right here was so scary, but it proved to be such a great buying opportunity. Only to see this rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation, retrace to the previous high here, continuation, retrace to the previous high here. And we are in the middle of that basically bullish reversal now to see the continuation to the upside. This is getting so exciting for all of us that have been stacking, everybody that's been preparing for this, because we're seeing signs and signals that have forecasted this move before it came in. Even back here, I think on this date right here, around the 7th and 8th of April, I was talking about the spike that we saw in the VIX and indicating that that was very likely a reversal signal for some pumpage to come in, and we've seen just that. Not only did the VIX signal it, but we had the bullish divergence with the lower lows here on the price action, with the higher lows, as we can see right here on the RSI, showing growing strength while the price was still falling, signaling not only that the strength was increasing, but a bounce on a previously established support zone there, and the VIX signaling that we likely peaked in volatility, only to see what? Bounce right into the previous range of resistance, breaking out for that, now having a bit of a bull flag. Is this going to continue to the upside? Is this going to move further to the downside? We're going to dive into that. I did a member stream this morning for those of you that are tuned in, especially on YouTube. But if you're watching over here on YouTube, if you're watching here on Rumble, if you're watching currently on X, which this is me. Look at this cost of living. My salary, me, crypto's got a hold of me, baby. I did not mean to share that right now, but that's okay. But if you're watching, wherever you're watching, we're seeing all the signs and signals. I did do a member stream this morning. I just want to shout this out. If you're watching over here on BitLab, make sure on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Had you had your notifications on this morning, even if you weren't a member, you would have gotten notified of that stream. And what am I talking about? Oops, let me come back over here. Right here. If you come over here to posts, I still even have it up. Look, public, members only. If you have your subscription on, just make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. If you have your notifications on, you would have gotten access to this. I will leave this up for about 20 more minutes, and I will then delete this. The members will still be able to see this. But I did about a 20-minute stream doing very quick TA, going through so many altcoins. We're going to go through a lot again in today's stream, talking about Ethereum, Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, talking about Solana, the breakout that we're seeing on the cusp of really happening. On the smaller time frames, we've already broken a little bit of this trend. On Chainlink, the setup that we see, Ondo, it's still breaking down. Is this going to be the next thing that moves? BitTensor Tau, having that move to the upside, starting to make an attempt to the upside, or is this going to break back down? Aerodrome seeing a nice pump here. We're going to be talking about that a bit. Render on the cusp of really starting to show signs of this reversal. What is a key level that we need to watch for? We're going to talk about that. Avalanche in the basically falling channel, broadening wedge. Are we going to see that move? We see dog on Bitcoin also making not only the breakout of this trend line that we've seen here. I mean, look at this move since we really started talking about that breakout. Almost 100% move on dog, which is phenomenal. And it's actually showing some further strength. The signals and targets to the upside. Curve also breaking out. Jasmy, it's still in this sort of structure, which is giving very mixed signals. What does that mean? Litecoin, still in this rising channel at a very critical juncture on this trend line, which is just an obscure line, right? No, it turns out that that line comes all the way back here until 2022. Are we about to see this actually reverse basically this full downtrend back into the zone and get set free once it gets clear of this range? We see Cardano also in a falling channel, attempting to really test this upper level of resistance. If we see the market really start getting some legs under it, we could see this testing up here into the $89 region. Dogecoin, also nice reversal signals here. Starting to forecast that with this basically dragonfly doji right here. And then we have this hammer candle right here, both reversal signals, the momentum rolling back to the upside. We see the RSI starting to angle back to the upside. Is this going to get back above this 50 line soon? This is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Look at that. Pulls back right to about the 50 line, bouncing, strength coming in. We got so much to cover today, everybody. As you roll in here, shout out to everybody that is here. If this is your first time here, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. My name's Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy stream. Shout out to our channel partners, LBank and Arculus. By the way, we still have that $13,000 giveaway going on right now. Head over to LBank. That link is pinned in the top of the descriptions. If we come back over here and look at this, we're going to be getting into that TA here in just a moment. But looking right here at the top, there's a pinned, you cannot see it, but it should be a pinned post up there. And if you don't see that, all you have to do is click this more right here in descriptions. Trade with us on LBank, $13,000 in bonuses. Boom, click on that link. You should see it up there at the top. Same thing on Rumble. You see that link right here. Get involved. If you are watching on Rumble, we're getting 15 to 40,000 views a day. That we just started this channel last week. So everybody, even if you're on YouTube, come over here, show some love, get these numbers up, hit that subscription button. I do appreciate you. Hit that like button, subscribe, all the things. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're hitting that retweet button. We only got about 24 or 25, I think, from yesterday. Let me scroll down here and see if we're doing a giveaway today. When you retweet the live stream on X, okay, only 25. So if you retweet the live stream on X from tomorrow when we go live, if this is over 40 retweets, we will do a $100 giveaway. All you have to do is show some love, show some engagement here. But look at what we're seeing in the markets, guys. We are seeing back over $3 trillion market cap for the crypto markets. This is excellent. This is feeling good. But does that mean we need to let our guard down? Does that mean that we need to let the market just run away? Is it going to trap us? Is it a bull trap? Are we going to see price action back to the downside? Well, we're seeing an onslaught of never-ending just bullishness come into the architecture and the landscape surrounding and supporting Bitcoin and the crypto markets. We see right here, just when we thought crypto was dead, because we saw a pullback to a known range high that was before. Come on, guys. We got to understand these market structures. Just as everybody thought it was dead, we're actually seeing BlackRock and BNY Mellon just dropped a $150 billion blockchain fund. $150 billion. In addition to that, we woke up this morning with Aero, Morpho, AVAX, Sonic, Curve, Sui, ENA. Look at these gains just this morning. But is it just those gains? No, we're seeing beyond that. Look at this across the board. This is on the daily on the crypto bubbles. Virtual up 26%. Radium's up 10%. Brett, Beamcoin's getting a lot of pumpage lately as well. 15.4%. Hype up 12%. Aave up 11.4%. Aptos. I mean, look at this. Everything on here except for a couple things. ZAOT, which is basically the stable coin on Tether. What we see here, Stacks up, Ondo up, Injective up, Atom up. I mean, guys, if you have not been stacking in the red, Then it might be frustrating when you're seeing the green because you're like, oh, it's leaving me. And then you jump into a green candle. And then as it has a bit of a pullback, which inevitably happens, then you sell. So you buy high, sell low on repeat, only diminishing your returns over and over again. You got to find the confidence through data, through tuning in here on BitLab Academy, Discover Crypto, Blockchain Basement, so you can look at the data points that are indicating the reversal is coming before it happens, so you can get those good entries. And if you're going to buy, know what your exit strategy is, know what you're trying to do, so you don't get emotional and trade every time you get any movement that isn't exactly what you want. The price action does not go straight up. The price action does what it does in every asset class in the history of ever. You don't get this, you get this. Oh, scary. Oh, back up. Oh, no, it's going down. Oh, up. Oh, this is very scary. You have to be able to ride the wave or don't play the game, or just lengthen your time horizon for the assets that you're buying and ignore all of that. In fact, what am I talking about when I say that? Let's go over here, for instance. Let's go to Link, for instance. Let's come over here and change this right here to a line chart. Let's put it on the weekly. So now you're ignoring a lot of the fluff, all right? You're ignoring the 1 minute candles of the price going. This is just smoothed out. The price, the closing price of every candle just mapped. That's it. Now I'm on the weekly as well. If we come over here to Bitcoin, look at what this looks like on the line chart. You're cutting out all of the noise, especially if you come over here on the monthly chart. Look at this. I mean, it's just so smooth, right? But the problem is people come here on the 1 minute chart, they turn on regular candles and they get so excited here. And then they sell here. Then they get excited here. Then they sell here. Then they get excited here. Then they say, stop doing the rinse, repeat, throwing your money away. We got to zoom out a little bit. If you're going to trade, do it with conviction, with stop losses. Now let's dive into what this means, because we're seeing a never-ending onslaught of this bullishness coming into this market. And when we realize on this 12-hour chart, this is back at that peak, March of last year, 74,000. Oh, it's over. This is where everybody was calling it dead again. And all it did was test a previous range high. Then a launch from this point here all the way up to that high. Look at that, 123% move. Holy moly, I thought it was dead. And then, oh my God, the market crashed again. It's dead. And only to retest previous range highs. And what is that? That is a 31% drop to the downside, coming into a known level that we were expecting, which we've been talking about here on the BitLab Academy channel, which we were talking about on Discover Crypto, what Drew was talking about on Blockchain Basement. Price is doing what price does in an uptrend. And now look at this falling wedge, which tend to break bullish, and we had the bullish divergence. Boom, we're getting that break to the upside. Now, because we're back above $97,000 does not mean this is guaranteed just to go up here to that next gateway at $108,000 to $110,000 range. In fact, it would still be very likely that this, trap some people, comes back down, tests somewhere a little bit lower, bear trap now. So we have a bull trap here, bear trap here. What does this mean? Let's get people committed long and then reverse the price, liquidate those people going long because they're too exuberant with leverage. And then you get people committed going short, and then you liquidate those people by coming back up. So now you clear liquidity in both directions, then find a little bit of a base and then launch. That is something very real that I could see happening. Yet most people only get excited if it's up and only get scared when it goes down. Who gives a shit what the price does? Plan accordingly and understand this market is meant to frustrate the most people as possible. If you can realize that and recognize the frustration in yourself, then you can take advantage of it and make some money. So how's everybody doing? We got so many great charts to share today. I'm getting so bullish on everything going on. Again, welcome to the BitLab Academy show. If this is your first time, my name's Kellam. Let's continue on and dive into some of these things that the market is telling us, the news is telling us, the outline is going to give us a platform for the technical analysis we're going to dive into here in a few minutes. Bottom line, we've been talking about this since January or before of last year, and that is the global liquidity. As it stands right now, look at this trajectory. This is offset by 80 days, AKA the global money was printing 80 days ago and breaking to new highs. When you adjust this, because there's a little bit of a delay in this new liquidity actually finding its way into Bitcoin and other assets. When you adjust this, look at this perfect correlation of the liquidity going up and Bitcoin going up. Liquidity is yellow, Bitcoin's orange. Okay, liquidity flatlined. Remember, this was an 80-day, 80 to 100-day advanced warning of what's happening. We just shifted them to overlay to show how tight these are. Now look, global liquidity starts ticking up, Bitcoin ticks up. Global liquidity starts breaking down, Bitcoin's breaking down. We got a double bottom on the global liquidity, and then it went to blast off. And look at this trajectory. This is suggesting two things. One, it doesn't go up in a straight line. Even global liquidity, look, push up, a little bit of pullback, push up, a little bit of pullback, push up, a little bit of pullback, big push up, pullback. Oh my God, it's over. Bigger push up, pullback, push. Once you understand that, you can take advantage of it. So this is showing us the trajectory in general is going to continue this aggressive move to the upside. This does not count out on a 4-hour chart or 1-hour chart, having a washout to the downside along the way, as we're seeing even in the global liquidity. So understand that. One of the ways that I've been showing you all is on this chart here from the Bitcoin strategy platform, looking at the aggregate, basically everything, global liquidity. This is it all together. And this has been breaking to new highs. We talked about it back here on this reversal. We talked about it here. We talked about it here. We talked about it here. And now this is showing. And we can see this global liquidity ticking up during the downtrend on Bitcoin. But I thought they go up at the same time. You're not listening. What I just said was there's about an 80 to 100-day offset. So there's the global liquidity ticks up. You're putting gas in the car. And then once that's in, the driver gets in the car and then it runs up the mountain. That's what we're seeing here. And you can see this right at this point right here. This is, look at this. This is January 20th. Right after January 20th, you're seeing global liquidity tick up. So it's been, about 100 days. How long has Trump been in office? I'm not making this political. They just did a first 100 days in office. Was it yesterday or the day before? So the 100-day differential here, right on January 20th, this started ticking up. So with the 100-day differential, what are we starting to see now on Bitcoin? We're seeing Bitcoin starting to break to the upside. Now, is this going to only go up? No. But considering everything setting up with the altcoins waking up, sure, but we're seeing the global liquidity tick up. What else do we see? I've been saying this. I am shorting here. I am absolutely shorting here. Why would I be shorting here if I'm so bullish? It's because I'm shorting the dollar by going long on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an asset outside of the system. And so by going into Bitcoin, I'm effectively shorting the dollar. I'm investing in the future. I'm removing that anchor. The anchor of debt-based systems that print into infinity. That's the only inevitability with every US dollar, Turkish lira, the bolivar, the peso. Fiat systems print. That's what they do. If you have Bitcoin, fixed total supply, you are capturing the destruction of other money into increasing in value and buying pressure and buying ability, the buying power of Bitcoin. So everything is shaping up. Now, why is that? Well, look at this chart right here, Wyckoff accumulation. We've shared this several times over the last few weeks, over the last month as well. This is a recognized pattern that has been around since the early 1900s. Bitcoin hasn't been around since the early 1900s. Yeah, but assets that have been trading all the way back since in Japan, when they actually came up with these candlesticks that we look at on a daily basis. These candles were invented by people trading rice on the market in Japan hundreds of years ago, tracking the difference in price throughout the day. So you could basically map it out. And so when we see this, and you see the oil has been traded, and you see other assets that have been traded back in the early 1900s, Wyckoff, I should say. Wyckoff identified basically this is a structure of the psychology of a reversal. In this case, it's called a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. So you have the breakdown, the bulls try it back up. You have another attempt to break down, the bulls bring it back up much lower. Look at this. I mean, look at this, much lower. And then you have a larger swing that really traps people and convinces people it's over for the bulls. Look at this. You have a lower low. What do we have? A lower low. And then look at this, W formation, breaks up, this kind of chop. And then you break above the previous range, boom, break above the previous range, much like we see here. And the continuation, this would be starting that full reversal. Shout out to Fabi, S Trader Dia ABT. We could try and get through some of those. I will, yeah, those of you that do super chats, I will try and get the coins that you do. I have there we go. I have you favorited, so we can look at that here in a little bit. But this is showing that reversal. And we're also seeing the fundamentals getting stronger, the things that are supporting Bitcoin and everything within the crypto ecosystem. Like this, $1.5 trillion Morgan Stanley to offer Bitcoin and trading to E-Trade clients. 1.5 million more people are about to start getting access to trading Bitcoin and crypto assets beyond just, the ETFs and stuff like that, actually trading Bitcoin. This is incredible. And then what else do we see? Coinbase urges Supreme Court. These things are being raised to the Supreme Court to protect crypto privacy. In a new amicus brief, Coinbase supports a case challenging the IRS's access to crypto data without a warrant, raising concerns over Fourth Amendment rights and digital privacy. Everything is happening in Bitcoin, altcoins, the crypto ecosystem now on the highest levels of governments and the highest level of courts. And we're seeing the largest asset managers in the history of the world building Bitcoin and crypto facing products and services. Banks about to enter the foray of crypto in a major way with stablecoins. Visa offering basically transactions settlement in South America using stablecoins and Visa. The time is now. Do not mess this up, because you are literally an ancestor to all of your lineage that comes after you. The moves you make now will change forever the opportunity your generations beyond you will have. That's how important this moment is right now. So when we dive back into this and we realize, but price go up, price go down, it's not moving today. Let's stop being crybabies. Let's stop being impatient. Let's take advantage of what's going on in this market and be a little patient and taking the shots, because this is what we're seeing. Updated my Bitcoin ETF chart pack. This is from James Seyfart. Look at these flows. The ETFs have taken in nearly $4 billion on 8 consecutive days of inflows. Here's what the cumulative flows have looked like over time. $12 billion. That's only a month and a half after, almost 2 months after the launch of the ETFs. $12 billion entered. Now coming in here to August is, about 7 months later, $18 billion. And now look at this move from August 2024 till February. That is a $22 billion increase. 100% increase, over 100% increase in the ETF appetite. Bitcoin ETFs. When people buy Bitcoin ETF, the ETF providers like BlackRock and Fidelity and VanEck and Bitwise and 21 Shares, they have to go and buy the corresponding same amount of Bitcoin to back what people are buying for the Bitcoin ETF. Essentially, you're being able to trade Bitcoin on the stock market. Now look at this. We're at about $38 billion. This is just incredible what we're seeing in this market, and people are even remotely bearish. Blows my mind. Exchange deposits. Exchange depositing addresses at 2017 lows signal reduced selling pressure. Bitcoin's on-chain data shows long-term holders accumulating, pointing to strong upward momentum. Now, what does this mean? Well, let's zoom in on this a little bit. Well, long-term holder supply. Long-term holders are aggressively accumulating Bitcoin. In fact, yesterday we covered the fact that we're looking at different wallet sizes with 10,000 or more Bitcoin, 1 to 10,000, 100 to 1,000, 1 to 10, and less than 1 Bitcoin. And in a major way, the big money players, over 10,000 Bitcoin is a massive wallet. Those big money players were stacking in aggressively. We could see the accumulation. And now we're also seeing data on the long-term holders. Not only is big money, but people that have the longer-term vision that buy in great areas of this market. They're adding to positions here, expecting another instance for great long-term hold opportunities. Big money's buying, long-term holders buying. Now is the time, everybody. And then we zoom in a bit further. What do we see? Blue and green. Every Bitcoin top is blue. This is this bar right here. When we see this push up into the zone, are we near top? Look at how low this is. Green, every parabolic inflection. What do we see here? Boom, green. Now, what does this look like? Previous cycles. Look at this. Bottoms here, almost a double bottom, and then launch, Okay, look, almost kind of the bounce a little bit, and then the double bottom launch. Same thing, double bottom launch. Look at this, double bottom. Are we in the middle of that event horizon for that next parabolic uptrend? I do think we are, and as exciting as it could be. Now, continuing on, I want to get through this because I want to get to the altcoins. What do we see? Bitcoin forming an accumulation structure similar to past rallies. So this is similar to some of the other on-chain data we looked at, the charts we're looking at. We're looking at a variety of different signals, all pointing to big money, smart money, and the structure outside of this money, all suggesting an overwhelming bullish parabolic trend to becoming and persisting likely through 2026. And what we're seeing in this moment is the behavior on chain of different market participants that are indicating bullish price action to continue and persist and likely be breaking to new all-time highs. Sell in May and walk away is the dumbest shit I've ever heard when you're looking at all the data. Because we showed yesterday, it's basically a 50-50. It's not something that holds true in Bitcoin. Depends on the context of the market. It depends on the context of what the outlook is moving forward. And the outlook just changed dramatically on January 20th. In fact, November 5th, when President Trump was elected. And then, of course, on January 20th on the inauguration. And then following that, with Paul Atkins coming into the SEC, the changing of and restructuring of removing just suppressive regulation that we had on crypto, now empowering it, embodying the US becoming the crypto capital of the world. And we're seeing on-chain data showing the accumulation structure is setting up for higher prices. So what are you doing about that? I know I've been stacking like a motherfucker. So you know what I'm about to say. So let's get into it. We got a couple more things and we got the TA. Don't let corporations out bullish you. This is how many corporations have been stacking. Actually, this is just a small snippet of it. 21 has 31,500 Bitcoin and plans to start with 42,000. So that's a 11,000 Bitcoin increase that they're going to need to get. Orange plans to invest 210 million. ANAP is 51 Bitcoin. Good. These are new treasuries, by the way. Good Food Market, 22 Bitcoin. Saynode, 12 Bitcoin. The Smarter Web Company, 5 Bitcoin. Well, let's get down a little bit further. Strategy added 25,000. Metaplanet added 1,600. Now they're going to do a U.S. subsidiary in the U.S. To also further this Bitcoin strategy. We got CleanSpark added 692. Riot, similar scientific. BitDeer, Canon, BitMax, Neptune, AI Fusion, DMG, HK Asia, Value Creation. Just we're seeing the stackingness just overwhelm this domino effect that's going to get so fast and people are going to get so priced out. Stack now or forever hold your cents, because you're just going to be holding cents, pennies on the dollar if you're not stacking in. And then we talk about the altcoins because we're starting to see the altcoins wake up. And I know many of you have majority of altcoins, and maybe I'm not going to say you should or you shouldn't, but tell me what the top 3 coins are in your portfolio. Don't tell me the amounts. What are the 3 largest holdings you have in your portfolio outside of Bitcoin? Let's see what you guys are holding. And what is one flyer? One like, oh, this is a risky mofo. Let me know one flyer you have in your portfolio. Let me see in the live comments right now. I want to see what you guys are saying. Are you alive? Alive, get active in chat. Let's go. And the same thing in YouTube. If you're alive, get active in the live chat here. If you're watching on X, we got almost 2,000 people watching on X. Get active in the live chat. How do you do that if you're watching on X? Click on this, and then right here, it'll say loading, but you can type right here. Once you make it full screen, you get active in chat. I can see all y'all's chats. I have them on a thing that aggregates all the chats up here. Just wanted to let you guys know. But make sure you're showing some love here. If you can't retweet this and stuff, all you have to do is exit out of this, go back, and then right here, hit that retweet, hit that like button, show some love. I want to give you guys a giveaway tomorrow. Now, coming back over here, what else we got? I want to get into this TA. Altcoins setting up. What are we seeing? Look at this. RSI coming down. So, I mean, look, flat here when we had the sort of W pattern, boom, launch. Also back here, you can't see it back here, but you had the price action rolling over and retesting on this major trend line right here, boom. And then right here, Same thing, rejection coming back on the major trend line, and the RSI is fully reset. This is Ethereum. Going to be a major signal for the alt market. And then we see the altcoins in general, the altcoins market cap. What do we see? We see a massive broadening wedge. If this were to play out for altcoins, so many of your lives would be changed so dramatically if you've been stacking in, if you have the courage to be holding on, if you have a profit-taking strategy. Because if this were to happen, if we're sitting here just under, right at a $1 trillion market cap, you see 1.05 for the altcoins, everything excluding Bitcoin. If this were to pump to here, this would be a basically from here to here, a $1 trillion increase in the valuation of the altcoins. Now, it doesn't mean every altcoin is going up $1 trillion. In fact, it means quite the opposite. It means there's going to be a select few throughout the crypto ecosystem that are going to see massive, massive gains. So you have to pick what excites you looking at this. When you look at, let's come over here and refresh this page. We're looking at all these coins, outside of Bitcoin. So we're looking at Ethereum. It's currently at 224 billion. We got XRP, 130 billion, BNB, 84. See how fast these are falling? Down to number 42, only 2.4 billion for Caspa. We go a bit further. We see things like Optimism, only 1.2 billion. We get a little bit further. Now, not even past the top 100. Where does this clip? Right here. The graph between Injective and the graph. Number 71, 1 billion. The graph, 972 million. If we see $1 trillion into this altcoin ecosystem, the price pushing up the value of these coins, it's not going to be every coin, but it will be a large majority of the coins will see price increases, and some of these coins will see massive, massive, massive gains. So then what are we looking to? We talked about this yesterday, that sort of pocket of liquidity that was above us on Bitcoin. If we refresh this page, let's look at it. It is now, look at that. Remember that pocket was just there? Almost like a magnet. Hey, push the price up here. There's free liquidity for you because there's jackasses that are over leveraged. And then what did that price do? Boom, comes right up, takes it out, pushes up. Now, if we zoom in on this, let's go to the 12-hour and realize now we got a lot of liquidity magnets below us. See, you see this? Tap this liquidity. As soon as it's tapped this liquidity, the fact that this didn't push up kind of gives me indication that unless we get some jolt of news or something, that we're kind of more likely currently to have a swing down here to at least about 96,000 to start tapping into some of this. Again, what did I say at the beginning of this stream? As bullish as we are, this is feeling good. It would not be out of context for the price action to have a swing to the downside, to have a swing to come down and tap down into here. Let me see. I have another chart somewhere. Where is it at? There's not there. Let me see. Okay. No, that's not it. Right here. So, even though we got this move up, this could be a deviation up that comes down and, as I said, washes people out in both directions before having continuation. If this is able to maintain this and hold this region, above 95, 96,000, and did you realize that? Look at this, 96,000. This would still be above 95,000, which is right in here. So this would only be a retest of these highs right in here. You see that? So if this were, let's go down to the 1 hour. This would be basically, if this were to reject, this is going to wreck so many people, even though this would be normal for this to come down and test this previous range highs. So let's pay attention to that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying you need to be prepared for it if it does. RSI is looking strong, price action, but what does it mean for altcoins? Because Ethereum trying to make the move. It's trying. We got a little bit of a shelf here, breakdown, back up to a little bit of a shelf right in the zone that we've had marked out for quite some time through here. This is going to be a kind of a deciding factor. If this can clear through this, I would expect a little bit of a rejection somewhere in here, finding some support before it makes its way up into this green box region that we've had drawn here for quite some time. We had these bars below us drawn when we were up here. We came down, tapped those, came down, tapped that. The levels that we've been drawing, I think maybe it's luck, maybe it's 10 years in this market. We've been hitting these targets in incredible fashion on an incredibly high hit rate. There's some stuff that happens in the interim. Sometimes the price goes below. Great, deviation. Now we're looking for this level right here. We're not there yet though. Currently, we've only broken out. Currently the Ethereum is only broken out and had a bit of what looked like a bull flag, but now look at this. This is as wide as this is tall. Doesn't quite look like a bull flag anymore. The question is going to be here, do we get a move back down to test back down to 1670, 1700, this range right here? Or are the bulls going to carry this through, push up, find some support, and continue? Currently, looking at the 12-hour, the bulls are looking relatively strong with the RSI. What does it look like on the daily? RSI is angled up. What does it look like on the BitLab trading stack? And where's it at? B right here. Okay, so negative money flow, but the VWAP, look at this. VWAP is flattened out. It's looking like it's trying to roll over. This is on the daily. What does it look like on the 4-hour? 4-hour. Okay, we got positive money flow. Positive money flow that is expanding. This is bullish, meaning more money's coming into the asset. Stochastic's angled up. RSI's angled up, but starting to kind of look a little, starting to indicate that it might weaken. But VWAP angle very firmly up, but VWAP angle very firmly up, but also looking a little weak in the interim. This is on the 4-hour chart, and you see, what do we see? Expansion, a little bit weaker, a little bit weaker. We got to just keep an eye on this. Shout out, Crypto Billy. Great show. See you in Vegas. I will see you in Vegas. How many of you are going to be in Vegas? Whether you're watching on Rumble, X, YouTube, get in the live chat. Let me know if you're going to be in Vegas. We got to make some meetups. We got to hang out with some people. I know I'm going to be grilling. We got a media house that we're doing off strip. I'm going to be grilling. I'm like Bobby Flay on the grill. You guys don't understand. I'm going to put my meat so deep in your mouth. Juicy, succulent pork, steak, chicken, ribs. Man, I can grill some food. I'm telling you right now. But let's get back into this because I want to look at some of these other altcoins that we got going on here. Got XRP. Ripple's bid to buy Circle, which is kind of an interesting deal here, but this is still looking relatively weak. It has broken out of this zone, this falling channel. We do have this inverted head and shoulders as well, and this has broken out. It retested, tried again, retested. Now it's starting to look like it's building another sort of inverted head and shoulders now to a head and shoulders, but we have to see how this is going to play out. I think a lot of things are going to be contingent on where this market is going this week in general, like with some of the trade deals, some of the things are leaning more bullish. But yeah, this is kind of sitting there softly. It's not giving clear signal. It's looking like this is getting a little weak. So I'd be watching that. Solana on the smaller term time frame, we had this, push up. We have a bit of a falling wedge here. You can do it like that or like that, whatever. But break out into this very firm, see this BitLab volume, the order blocks, a lot of liquidity came in defending these price zones. Another order block right here. And this is pushing up, not really able to get through this zone. If this reverses, it's not the end of the world. I'd be watching for a bounce here at about $147. If this loses that, then I think we'd be tapping back down into this green order block that's right here. See that green order block right here? But as it stands right now, I mean, money flow is starting to increase a little bit. VWAP's looking a little weak. It's looking like maybe it might wants to form either a pattern here or a little bit of a breakdown. But let's hope for a bull flag. But this would not be out of context. Do not be scared of this. Be like, oh, it broke out. Let's look for the confirmation and launch. Chain link, descending broadening wedge. Actually a good thing. Now, if this were to pull back, I'd be looking for the lower side here at 1424, but in reality, I'd be looking for a more bullish pullback. Draw a fib from the top to the bottom. I'd be looking for a pullback right about right here where all these lows are. See, bounce, 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 bounce. Option H. See, choppy right here, bounce, bounce, bounce. I'd be looking right there, which is the 382 fib. If this were to pull back, that would be a great spot to kind of trap here, which would also form a bull flag and then have that continuation. If we lose this, then I'm watching down in here. Things are leaning more bullish though. Ondo up against the resistance. It got rejected, but it's looking flat here. If we can maintain these higher lows, great. If this does come back down, the most bearish thing I would want to see as a bull is a retest of this zone right here, which is basically a double bottom. And then, but this is still has negative money flow. We'd like to see the money flow flip positive before we really have some stronger conviction. But if this does break out, we'd be watching for a rejection here at right at the dollar mark, a little consolidation, and then a move if that were to happen, or a rejection, retest back down. We're going to have to revisit this when the price does test that region. Man, I have to pee so bad. Shout out Green Day Profits, gifting 5 BitLab memberships. That's a first gifts for memberships we've had in a while. I got to start incentivizing the memberships, man. For everybody that is, as you become a BitLab member, I just want to shout out, come over here. When you click subscribe, once you subscribe, turn on your notifications. Even if you're not going to become a member, being me, it's $1.25 a week. But if you're not going to become a member, still subscribe, hit the all button. And then you'll, when you refresh the page, reload the page, you'll see join, become a member. And then when you're over here, you will see stuff that is only for members here if you come here to membership, you'll see the posts of basically different, look at these different, basically breakdowns and stuff just for you members. And if you're not a member, you still subscribe and turn on notifications. I post some, not all, of the BitLab member videos public for about 5 or 8 minutes when I post them in the morning. And if your notifications are on, even though you're not a member, when I post it public, you'll see the notification. You'll only see the notification if your notifications are on. Then you get to see those special things that we're doing. We are merging some of the stuff with the Discord and all that kind of stuff with Discover Crypto and Blockchain Basement. And we've had some hiccups on the tech stuff there, but that's going to be happening very soon. Just a reminder, why are we doing this, everybody? 680 Bitcoin. It cost 680 Bitcoin. In 2016, it cost 680 Bitcoin to buy a house at the average family price for a house. In 2025, it only costs 3.5 Bitcoin. Life becomes less expensive if you're holding in Bitcoin. Why? Because dollars are inflated. They're printed to infinity. So things cost less. Your house isn't appreciating in value. The dollar is going to shit. Meanwhile, if you're holding Bitcoin, it costs you less Bitcoin, giving you more buying power. So don't you want that to be part of your story rather than the hours you work and the labor you trade and the energy you spend to make money being essentially devalued by the dollar not having as much buying pressure? That's what I'm talking about. Now let's get into some of the super chat we had from Fabi. Said, I don't even know what these coins are. SD, S-Trader, DIA. Let's look at DIA. Let's look at DIA. DIA. All right, DIA, USDT. Let's look. Let's go to the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. Double click here on the right. Guys, when your thing's super stretched out like this, nothing frustrates me more. Even with my other friends that are in this market for years, don't have a fucking clue how to use TradingView. I'm telling you guys, when this is all stretched out, don't sit here and be a jackass and go like this. Double click, boom. Shrinks it all auto. Now, when it's moving like this, if you want to break it out of auto, just move this a touch, and now you can, now you can put this wherever you want. Another couple quick tips that you all hear. You don't need to come to the toolbar for everything. If you want a horizontal ray, Option J. If you're on PC, it's Alt J. If you want a horizontal line all the way across, then it's Option or Alt. PC, it's Option H. If you want a trend line, it's Option or Alt. T, nothing happens, but then click, move your mouse, boom. Now you have a trend line. If you want a fib, Option or Alt, F, nothing happens, but then click, now you have a fib. You want a vertical line, Option or Alt, V. Quick tips for you. Now, the other thing, you want to change the time frame. You don't need to come up here. If you don't have all these, how do you get those? You see right here on the little arrow, when you put stars on them, it gives you the favorites, so they show up here. You don't even need that though. All you have to do, say you want a 5-minute chart. Click on the chart, touch 5. Boom, 5 minutes. Say you want a 1-day chart. Boom. Let me here double click on this now to make it. There we go. Now say you want a 1-day chart. Cool. Type 1. See, it says 1 minute. Just type 1D. Boom. There you have a day. So many quick tips and stuff here. So now on DIA, little quick tips for everybody, because so many people don't know how to use these things. Now look at the price here. We have right here, Option J. See why this makes it so much easier, so you don't have to go back and forth every time. So we have this range, bounce, rejection, rejection, rejection. Now look at where this rejected. Now we can go right here. This is looking a little bit more bullish. Look at this money flow. It's kind of flipped back bullish here. If we go down to like the 12-hour, you'll be able to see that. See that? Boom, flip back bullish from pink to blue. This is price action push right up into this order block, but let's go to the top. Let's go Option F Takes a fib all the way to the bottom, and look at this, pushed right up kind of into the order block, which is also the 382 fib, 38.2%. That's what that means. So as we look at that, so this is where it came up to on the full move, but now on the move that just happened, let me option F, go up here to the top, boom. So if this were to pull back, I'd be watching for this to pull back into this 382 fib here on the smaller move. Boom. We are sitting right now on the shelf of this order block as it stands. If this can hold in here and bounce here, then I'd be expecting a retest up into this zone and an extension further to one, test this 81 cent zone. The next target that we really got to pay attention to is this golden pocket, 92 to 96 cents, because it's also about this range high region as well. So this will be a critical juncture. It wouldn't be out of context for this to have a bit of a pullback. Of course, it would be scarier if this came back down to this golden pocket, but remember, pullbacks to golden pockets are still bullish so long as they hold. This would be the most bullish pullback. It would be right here into this 382. What was the other one that you said? ABT. That's ABT. Let's look at ABT. One, two. Okay, it's looking like it's trying to do a reversal. We have the downtrend with the deviation much lower. Boom, comes back up. It breaks beyond this zone. There we go. Breaks beyond, up into the zone. We have two order blocks right here. So if we measure this, option F, bottom to top, boom, look at this. Comes right back. Look, right into the 382. Let me turn off the volume. Comes right into the 382. If this is lost, not the end of the world. You're just looking for a target opportunity to come right back into this zone and hopefully hold. And if that happens, then you have a higher low as well, right? So if this is able to hold here, then I'd be expecting a move, basically testing these range lows right here, which is above this previous range. The money flow still bearish, meaning negative money flow, but the VWAP is angling. The stochastics are angling. The RSI is starting to reverse. That's on the 12-hour. What does it look like on the 4-hour? So tried to get positive money flow, came back into negative money flow. Stochastics are angled up. Momentum waves angled up. This could be the pullback. I'd be a little cautious here until you started seeing a little bit more conviction and positive money flow. But guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Let's look at Moonwell for sure, because we haven't looked at that in a while. Man, I got a piece so bad. This is why I'm wiggling. Where is well? Let's just type it in well. You see that? That's the other thing I forgot to say. You don't have to always come over here or come up here. Click this. Just click on the chart. Boom. Start typing. WELL. Boom. It's that easy, guys. Moonwell. Boom. Here, we already got the chart. 3 days. Let's look at this. Oh, man, I got the PP wiggles. Okay, so we had a bit of a range, but it broke down from this, rejected, came back down, rejected. Now it's broken back inside this range. Another sort of trend line you could look at would be kind of like right here. And this did see rejection, rejection, rejection. Now it broke out. It's come right into, is this anything? No, those are just lines. Okay. Man, I have to pee so fucking. Okay, that's going to do nothing right here. This has to be the last one because I am literally about to wet myself. All right, let's delete this. Option F right here from the top to the bottom. All right. So where's it at right now? From this breakdown point, price action came right up into the 786. What we'd like to see, potentially rejection. If it does, the support here at 2.7, 2.8 cents. If this is able to push up, this is a level we really need to take out, the 3.5 cent mark. And then we'd be looking at coming up to these ranges up here at about 4.1 cents. Guys, I love you. I have to go because I'm literally about to pee myself. I appreciate you all. I have to go eat some barbecue too at my cousin's barbecue restaurant here in a few minutes. But shout out, make sure you're following, get involved, retweet this over on X. That link is right here. I will share this post. I'll share this post on YouTube and on Rumble. If you're on X, all you have to do is exit out of it and retweet it. Where is Rumble? I got to go. I love you guys. Heading over to Blockchain Basement now. Adios, everybody.